and that's what happens down here. Depending on what in other words, the play, you won't heal it up to 15 hit points. You'll heal like 3 or 4. And then the price, it's gonna factor in the price. All this is your price. Being that you're dividing by 15, you can end up with some decimals. This cuts off those decimals. This integer right here. Um, and anyway, it's just for the cost of, and then the final price. It's telling you how much the total price is, and that's what it's factoring right here. And then we're going to update the player, set the hit points plus the final HP cash equals. So in other words, it's just adding your hit points and minusing the price. And then you're going to update the shops and give that cash to the actual shop, so that person gets paid. Then if you select on buy medical supplies, then this is going to be your get variable. And all this is going to do, this is going to bypass and then just say, okay, you're healed, and then give you a chance to go back, and you're just going to leave. Now let's say you want to buy medical supplies, then you're going to do a standard table, and you're going to select all from shop inventory, where the shop ID equals the shop's ID. That's how we set it up, to where your shops, each shop has its own ID right here, and then you can see the shop inventory. That's shop number 1. If you go to shops, you will see that the shop ID is right here, number 1. So that's how it knows what shop ID goes where. And it's just going to lay out everything it has, and kind of give you that menu that we looked at earlier with the different items. And you buy medical supplies, that sets the get variable, and then here's what's in there. That's all that's in there. And then you can, if you do decide to buy something, it sets doctor equal 1, so it ends up coming back here, but then bot equals 1. So then it says if set get bot, then it's going to go through and pull the inventory, pull the item, get all the stats for it, set a new randed, check your cash, make sure you have enough cash for it, and then if you do, it's going to insert it into your inventory, and it's going to delete it from the shop inventory, and then it's going to give the shop the cash for buying it, and then take away the cash from the player. That's it. Now add items. This is for the shop owner to add items. It's going to pull everything from your inventory that is set to the type of healing, because the doctor's office can only add items that are healing. So whenever you make new items, make sure that if you want them doctor type, you make them healing. And then it just kind of displays them, and then if you do want to add it, it's just going to set doctor equal 1, set price equal 1, and then if is set get set price, because it's going to reload the page, come into doctor, and then hit set price. It's going to tell you to set the price of the item, how much ever one you want to sell it for. It's automatically going to pass these variables, and then when you reload, it's going to come to this and insert it. It's going to select it from your inventory just to get the items or the information, then insert it into the shop, and then delete it from your inventory, and now it's in your shop and no longer in your inventory, and that ends it. And then here's where the bypass does not equal 1. It's going to be doctor main menu. Went through it kind of fast, but it's the same stuff that we've been over and over and over many times. So it's actually, once you just read through it, you'll totally understand it. And I'm going to go through and give you all of the different types of items like healing and stuff like that later, but just remember, if it's healing, that means you can use it to heal. It tells the engine, or the game, hey, it's a healing type, and you can sell it in doctor's offices. Now we're going to move on down to player houses. Let's go back to our, oops, I can get the right window. We're going to leave here, go back to the map, and let's see, player house. Here you can log out and rest, store your items, or take items from storage. And you notice there is a house inventory that keeps all of the house's inventory, so it doesn't stay in the same database as shop inventory. That, because you're probably gonna have a lot. This is gonna be a big database when people start storing a bunch of stuff. And the way it sets it up to where each house also has its own shop ID. So if a person stores something in one house, they're not going to be able to get it from the other house. Two totally different places. They have to go back to that house and pick it up. So we look at house. We have if it's set house. Um, if the player name is equal to the shop ID name, then it's going to let you do whatever you need to do in the house. But if it's not, then it's going to tell you, hey, this isn't your house. There's not really anything you can do here. Um, if the bypass is not set, it's going to give you, here it is right here where it says else. This is whoever's name of the house is, the door is locked. It's just going to give you an option to leave. But if it is your house, then it's going to say log out and rest, store items, or take items from storage, and give you the greeting that you set. If we go back to the top, a little too far, what it's going to do is if you decide to rest, it's going to make bypass equal 1. It's going to update the players and set a variable called safe in the player database equal 1. If that is equal to 1, players cannot attack you. Nothing can happen to you because you're safe inside your house, and that's what it does. Now on index.php, and this is actually set on authenticate. On authenticate, if safe is equal to 1, it's going to take that to 0. So when you this is going to destroy your session when you do that, and it's going to log you out. So when you log back in and you authenticate, it's going to set you back to 0 to where you're not safe anymore, because you're logged back in, you're playing again. And that's what it says here. As soon as you log back in, you'll be safe. So now we're going to do store items. Let's say you choose on the store. It's going to do the same thing as the doctor's office. You select all from your inventory, except for you can store anything. And then if you choose, it's going to print it out here and then store item in house 1. So if you do store, it's going to set this variable to store item. Then it's going to oh, that's take store, my bad. Store item must be one down. Here it is, store item. I just skipped one. It's going to select all. It's going to select the inventory. It's going to pass the variables. It's going to insert it into your house and delete it from your inventory. So it's going to take it. Now, to take from the storage, it's going to, instead of selecting from your backpack, it's going to select it from the house inventory because that's your storage. So it's going to select it. If you decide to pick something, it's going to do the opposite. It's going to select all from the house inventory to get the information. It's going to insert it into your inventory and delete it from the house inventory. Simple stuff. That's all it's doing. And then back to your menu.